2017 to mark two most significant occasions: the 150th anniversary of Confederation and the 225th anniversary of Colchester. For more than 1,000 years, families have gathered along these shores, taking their living from the lake and the land and building their communities along the way. We acknowledge the indigenous people of this land, the Three Fires Confederacy of the Anishinaabe, called the Ojibwa, the Odawa, and the Potawatomi. The late 1600s would see the beginnings of French exploration on our lake, followed a generation later by the arrival of Monsieur Cadillac at Detroit, and soon after, the courageous Wendat people of the North. The end of the American Revolution would bring a new kind of settlement to the area, when soldiers like Captain Caldwell and other loyalists would come to the new settlement in the late 1780s. In 1792, 225 years ago, under the authority of Lieutenant Governor John Graves Simcoe, the newly created province of Upper Canada was divided into 19 counties, with Essex being the southernmost. And along the shores of Lake Erie, lots were set aside as a town site, making Colchester the oldest established town west of Niagara. 75 years later, in 1867, the good people of Colchester would join in the celebrations as the loose family of British colonies in North America would join together to become a new nation. May Providence richly bless the Dominion of Canada and all of her people as we continue to grow in unity, prosperity, and peace. God save the Queen!
God save the Queen!
Testing. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Get Your Red On, a celebration of Canada and Ontario's 150th anniversary and Colchester's 225th. It's only proper that we start the celebration by singing our national anthem. Please rise for O Canada, sung by none other than our Mayor, Ron McDermott.
The two ladies that were supposed to do this thought it's next weekend, so they picked me. So we're all going to sing this, okay? I got the right pitch. Deputy Mayor gave me the pitch, so O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons' command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north, strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for pitching in here for us and singing O Canada. Always reminds me how deeply proud I am to be Canadian. And today, during our Canada 150, our Ontario 150, and our Colchester 225 event, I'm especially proud. In case you don't know me, I'm Deputy Mayor Richard Melange, and I'm very excited to be your MC for today's exciting opening ceremony. Our town crier and storyteller today is Seamus Gunn. Wasn't that a rousing and informative opening for today's event? Round of applause for Seamus. Thank you, Seamus. Seamus, you're the perfect one. You set the perfect tone for this historical context in this event today.
If you keep this up, my hat's not going to
As you all know, celebration events are happening across the country this year, and many of them have already taken place. Both our country and our province are celebrating 150 years of prosperity and achievement. Here in Essex, we're celebrating Canada 150, but we're also celebrating Colchester 225. This is because Colchester's official origins date back to the proclamation of 1792. But some might say that our origins actually predate 1792, when Captain William Caldwell invited soldiers to the new settlement along Lake Erie, all the way back in 1784. Those soldiers and the British loyalists who came after them became our first settlers. And it's truly remarkable that some of our very own residents, local residents today, that can actually trace their family lines back to these early settlers. It's also amazing that many of their stories have been recorded and preserved. Before you leave today, be sure to get a copy of our limited edition booklet, Colchester 225, A Brief History. It tells some of our earliest stories in a condensed fashion. And if you'd like to learn more, we would encourage you to download the full book at our website, essex.ca. With help from many people in our community, town staff have spent time over the last few months researching our local history and preparing 150 interesting facts about Colchester. In honor of Canada 150, the full book is called Colchester 225, 150 Historical Facts. As you might have guessed, today's opening ceremony is focused a bit on history. In a few minutes' time, I'm going to ask you to join us near the gazebo just behind us. Excuse me. And at the War of 1812 Peace Garden for a special plaque unveiling. As chair of the Municipal Heritage Committee, I'm very pleased to announce that we will be unveiling our newest interpretive plaque, which tells the story of historic Colchester. But before we do that, I'd like to acknowledge a few sponsors of today's events. First and foremost, I'd like to acknowledge the province of Ontario and the Ontario 150 Community Celebration Program. Through this program, Essex received a whopping $41,260 to help us celebrate our nation's and our province's 150th anniversary. Round of applause for the province of Ontario. Also, I'd like to recognize Ken Knapp Ford for being our main stage sponsor, and Richmond Coach Lines for providing shuttle service from Essex Centre and McGregor. Also a round of applause for those sponsors, please. So it's now time to call upon a few others to speak, and first I'd like to call to the podium or to this mic here is our very own Mayor, Ron McDermott.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Malash. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Colchester, the oldest English settlement in Ontario, west of the Niagara. This region is very rich in history, and it also has a very promising future, as most of us are aware of. Today's event is aimed at raising awareness about our place in Canadian history, but it's also a celebration of all the exciting things happening right here today. In case you haven't noticed, there's a big volleyball tournament taking place on the beach all day long. So please check this out. And yes, to one of our old timers from Essex Centre, there are men and ladies playing. So Bill, that's for you. Volleyball has been organized a day of competitive fun for both professionals and amateur players. We've also got an afternoon of family-friendly entertainment, as you can recognize, starting with B-Bowl at 1 o'clock right here. You might also be interested in Explore the Shore. That two-day event happens today and tomorrow along County Road 50. Please take some of this afternoon to travel a short distance down in this area and visit some of the local wineries and other businesses. And then come back to Colchester Park for an evening of great live music and the fireworks at 9:45. When we talk about Colchester today, we're generally referring to this village. But when we talk about Colchester in a historical context, we're also talking about the larger township. In 1792, Colchester Township extended all the way to the middle of Essex County at a place that later became known as Essex Centre. The boundaries of Colchester in 1792 basically mirrored the boundaries of the amalgamated town of Essex that we presently have. For this and so many reasons, we are extremely proud to be holding this event at Colchester Park. Please enjoy the day and be sure to come back to Colchester and the County Road 50 again. We'd love to have you. As it is stated in most of our itinerary, where you belong. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor McDermott. And now I'd like to introduce, on behalf of our Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport, Mr. Darren Winger.
Thank you. What an incredible day you're having here in Colchester. I'm here representing the province of Ontario and the Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport, Eleanor McMahon. Unfortunately, Eleanor couldn't be here today, but lo and behold, she really knows Essex and Colchester very well. She actually grew up in Windsor in Essex County, and I know today she would love to be on her bike going from winery to winery to winery because she's such an avid cyclist. But I do have a little message from Eleanor. On behalf of the Ministry of Tourism, Culture and Sport, I am delighted to welcome everyone to Colchester Community Celebration, Get Your Red and White On. This year we are marking the 150th anniversary of Confederation and the founding of Canada and Ontario. This gives us an excellent opportunity to tell stories of our diverse peoples and celebrate the places where we live. Colchester's long and vibrant history deserves a celebration. Not many Ontario towns can say they have a history that extends back 75 years before Confederation. Holding this celebration during the Explore the Shore weekend will bring families and friends together with lots of activities to build community spirit and community pride. I am proud of our government's support of this event through the Ontario 150 Community Celebration Program and applaud all the organizers and volunteers who worked hard to enable this celebration to take place this year. Please accept my best wishes for an inspiring celebration and commemorative event, and for another 225 years of success. All my best, Eleanor McMahon, Minister of Tourism, Culture and Sport.
Thank you, Mr. Winger. And at this time, I'd like to welcome up Tracy Ramsey, our Member of Parliament.
Thank you, Richard. Good afternoon, Colchester. What a beautiful turnout and a gorgeous day. I'm so happy to see so many people out getting their red and white on, looking very festive, of course, for Canada's 150th birthday of Confederation, but also for Colchester's. Colchester is a special place to me. My family has a cottage here. My grandparents got a cottage when my grandfather came home from the war, and my family has called Colchester home in the summer for my whole life, and my parents still live on Ambassador Beach just down the way. So I know what amazing things that Colchester has to offer, and I echo the mayor's sentiments that the best is yet to come here in Colchester. And I'm very honored to represent the people of this incredible region. And I went digging in my history books, as I can see that others did as well. When you look at the fact that Colchester's been here for 225 years, the mayor mentioned that it's the oldest settlement in Ontario, but it's actually the southernmost settlement on mainland Canada as well. And this is Colchester is the second most southern point, only to Point Pelee. So we have that important distinction as well. This location and the beauty that we can see with the lake behind all of you, and of course the beautiful fields on the other side of us, which have given birth to our amazing agricultural community, as well as our very important growing tourism industry around our wineries. So this, I'm sure, is why it was one of the first established settlements in Canada and in Ontario, just simply because of its location. And as the mayor said, or the deputy mayor said, you know, that a lot of Americans were fleeing the war and coming over and settling here during that time. Canada has a long history of being a peaceful country and a peaceful nation where many people have come and sought to settle. And so, you know, it is, I think a lot of people are surprised at how many Americans that we do have that are living here, that are dual citizens, that have taken on Canadian citizenship to be a part of our wonderful community. And of course, we have a lot of our American neighbors that come and join us every year for our summer season and cottages. A couple of things that I found when I was digging through the history of Colchester that really caught my attention were some of the early settlers and the names. And some of you in the crowd might actually be members of those families. Names from families like Snyder, Ferris, Eiler, McCormick, Quick, and Toffelmeyer. These are names that I grew up seeing and hearing along all of our roads my whole life, and I'm very, very happy to see that the history of these families continues today in the stories that will be told through the booklet that you're all going to receive, but also that a lot of our landmarks around here bear those names of the first families that came. Of course, with an acknowledgement that there were many, many Indigenous people that were on this land far before it was settled by all of us. One of the other groups, a very important group to Colchester that came and settled, again through a difficult time, were people who were escaped slaves through the Underground Railroad that sought and created a community here in Colchester that still stands today, and the roots of that community. One of the individuals that was part of that community was someone by the name of Elijah McCoy, who is one of the most prestigious Canadian inventors. Elijah McCoy actually had 45 patents, and the expression, the real McCoy, comes from one of his inventions. So that's pretty amazing that that's how far-reaching Colchester is, and all of the descendants of Colchester, that everyone, I think, in North America knows that expression, the real McCoy, and that its roots are right here in Colchester. So as I said, I was fortunate to grow up in this community, as many of you were, and I hope that we'll have a lot of visitors here this year to celebrate the 225th. And so I'm very happy to present you with a certificate, and also one from Taras Natashak, your member of Provincial Parliament. I'm here on his behalf as well. He couldn't be here with us today, but sends his congratulations to the entire community of Colchester on this wonderful event. So I'll just read the certificate, Mr. Mayor, and present it to you. So it gives me great pleasure to extend my sincere congratulations to the Village of Colchester as you celebrate this significant and historical event in honoring Canada's 150 years as a country. The valuable contributions and commitment of the people of Colchester is a true reflection of our community and how it works and its success. So congratulations, and everyone enjoy the events today.
Thank you, Tracy, for being here this afternoon with us. I know you have a crazy, busy schedule, and we really appreciate you being part of our, we really appreciate you, Tracy, being part of our celebration. So in closing, on behalf of Council of the Town of Essex, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out today. Please join me at the gazebo just behind me here for the plaque unveiling, which will take place in just a couple of minutes. Thank you, everyone.